Hey guys, welcome to Tabletop Warbands Battle Reports channel. In this video we are playing Warhammer 40k in a 500 points match that sees Necrons vs Ultramarines. I'm Simone and I will play Space Marines.
Hi, I'm Andrea and I will play Necrons. Before we started, we wanted to let you know that this is a new channel and it would help us a lot if you could subscribe. And don't forget to activate the bell so you don't miss the next battle reports. Thank you guys.
Today's mission is Outriders, taken from the core book. The two armies will have to deploy within these two areas. There are 4 battle objectives and they are arranged in this way. As secondary objectives, Necrons have chosen Purge the Vermin, Slay the Warlord and First Strike, while Space Marines have thinned their ranks, engage on all fronts and survey. The match will last 5 rounds, at the end of which whoever has accumulated more victory points will win. Both armies start with 3 command points as both are organized as combat patrol.
Let's move on to the description of the armies. My army belongs to the Mephrit dynasty, which allows me to add 3 inches to the range characteristic of ranged weapons, excluding pistols. Also, it gives them an additional -1 penetration if the target is less than a half range, and it allows me to activate both directives of the Protocol of the Vengeful Stars. As general of the army, I have chosen the Overlord, who is equipped with Hyperphase Glaive and Tachyon Arrow. As general trait, I chose the Dynasty trait, Merciless Tyrant, which gives him a +1 to the strength and attacks characteristics. The relic I gave him is the Arrow of Infinity, that gives the Tachyon Arrow 16 strength and 6 damage, instead of 12 strength and d6 damage. Next on the list are the Immortals, armed with Gauss Blaster that will help me penetrate the Ultramarines armor. Then there are 12 Necron warriors with Gauss Reaper, an Assault 2 weapon that will unleash hell on the enemy if they try to charge me. Last but not least, there is my Canoptech Doomstalker equipped with the Doomsday Blaster, which has 2 powers of fire, low power for when it moves, and high power when it doesn't move. I will use the increased power to take out the enemy vehicles as soon as possible. In addition, it is equipped with a Twin Gauss player.
Time to introduce you to my Space Marines, who belong to the chapter of the Ultramarines. Their chapter tactic increases their leadership by 1, which basically means that I won't have to take morale tests. The general of the army is Primaris Lieutenant Reginald, armed with a mastercrafted power sword and a bolt pistol. As warlord trait, I chose Champion of Humanity that could help me in a possible duel with the enemy Overlord, and as a relic, he has the Armour Indomitus, which adds a wound, gives him a save characteristic of 2+, and once per battle he can activate the Force Field, which grants him a 3+ invulnerable save until the end of the phase. The core of my detachment are 2 Assault Intercessor units, the 5th and the 6th Squad, made up of 5 models each and both armed with heavy bolt pistol and Astartes chainsword. Supporting the infantry is an Outrider Squad. These 3 bikes will be essential for controlling the battlefield and put the Necrons in trouble with their 14-inch movement. And finally, a multi-melta armed ATV Invader, probably the only weapon at my disposal that can deal with Andrea's Doomstalker.
Rolling for initiative.
Just 3.
Same here. Roll again.
Oh no. Damn.
I start first. Before starting the first round, but after deployment, I had secretly assigned a different command protocol for each turn, that will activate at the beginning of each battle round. Having the first turn and considering my secondary objective, First Strike, I will try to take out an enemy unit as fast as possible, without getting too close to him to avoid being charged on the first turn. The Immortals will try to contest Objective 1, while Warrior and Overlord will try to control Objective 4, in order to maintain more objectives than the Ultramarines.
Maybe it wasn't too bad to start second. Thanks to the bikes, I have a higher mobility than Andrea, and unlike the Necrons, my detachment works better in close combat. By letting him move first, I will be able to attempt to charge him in the first turn. I try to stay covered as much as possible by his shots. Now, I just have to try to resist his first round.
In the first turn, Protocol of the Vengeful Stars, Directives 1 and 2 is activated thanks to the Dynasty. With an unmodified wound roll of 6, I add 1 penetration to that attack. And if I target a unit within half range, the target does not benefit from the cover. My Overlord has an ability called My Will Be Done, that allows a unit to add 1 to hit rolls each time they attack. I choose the Warriors. The Immortals move to fire on the Ultramarines. My Overlord approaches target 4 and remains in line of fire with the enemy ATV. The Warriors follow him, but remain close to the Doomstalker to avoid leaving him exposed. The Doomstalker remains stationary on target 2 to maintain control and fire with maximum power. In the shooting phase, Overlord and Doomstalker will fire everything they have on the ATV to get the first strike. Warriors and Immortals will instead focus an Intercessor squad. Then my Overlord fires his Tachyon Arrow on the ATV. I hit at 2.
I can't allow the ATV to explode in the first turn, so I use the stratagem Transhuman Physiology for a common point, so Andrea can only wound it with 4+ until the end of the phase.
We'll see. I roll to see if I hit. 2. Just right. Instead of doing the injury roll, I use the stratagem Techno-Regular Targeting for 1 command point, which automatically makes me wound the targets. So 6 damage to the ATV.
Ouch! That means he only has 2 left.
Now the Doomstalker with his high-powered Apocalypse Ray still on the ATV. D6 attacks on 4+, 5. Let's see how many they hit. Only 1. Are you kidding? I wounded 4. 1.
Yes!
Reroll with the command point.
No!
Really?
Yes!
Now double Gauss, 2 attacks on 4+. They hit both, wounding at 4.
Wow, we survived!
Apparently it's not my day. Immortals fire on the 6th Intercessor Squad, 5 shots at 3+. 3 hits, strength 5, toughness 4, wounding with 3, 2 wounds.
I assign the wounds to the Marine in cover and say with 4+. Oh, that's bad. Reroll 1 with the command point? Okay, just 1 wound.
Now the warriors, always on the 6th squad. Having only 3 models in range, I fire 6 shots at 2, thanks to the Overlord's ability. All 6 hit. Strength 5 and toughness 4 means wound with 3. Just 2. I hate these dice.
An Intercessor is already wounded and in plain sight, so saving the first wound at 5. He's dead. I assign the second wound to the model in cover at 4+. Save! First Space Marine gone. In the morale phase, only the 6th squad should take the test, but having leadership 9, they pass automatically. Well, I'd say the most critical part is over. The ATV survived and we'll be able to fire in the first round. Now it's time to move towards the objectives. In the first turn, it's active for my Space Marines the Devastator Doctrine, which gives an additional +1 to penetration characteristic of every heavy and grenade weapon. The 5th squad advances with a nice 4 to take control of the Objective 1 and stay in cover of the Mortal's fire. The 6th team approaches the warriors, hoping to charge them in the charge phase. Reginald, in order not to be alone, follows suit. The bikes with their 14-inch movement get very close to the warriors to try to stop their advance towards Objective 4 and lock them where they are. The ATV is slightly out of range of the Doomstalker, so it moves a little while remaining in control of Objective 3. I'm quite satisfied with how I managed to position myself. It's time to scrap metal pieces. The 6th team fires 4 shots of heavy bolt pistol to the warriors at 3+. 3 hit, strength 4, toughness 4, 4 to wound, and I reroll the ones thanks to the aura of the lieutenant next to them. Rerolling the ones, all in.
-1 penetration, so save with 5+. 2 wounds through. Reanimation protocol, roll a dice for each dead. With 5+, they come back to life. Not even 1. I remove the models in the front line to create more space between the warriors and intercessors.
Huh, that's actually a good move. Reginald fires the bolt pistol at the warriors at 2+. Just right. Strength 4, toughness 4, wounds with 4. Wounded!
0 penetration, therefore 4+ to save. Perfect!
The bikes use twin bolt rifles which are rapid fire too, and thanks to the rule Angels of Death, they always double the shots. One bike fires 4 shots at the warriors and the other 2 bikes 8 shots on the Immortals. Starting with the Immortals, 8 shots at 3+. Wow, that's good! 7 hits. Strength 4, toughness 5, wounding with 5. 4 through.
With -1 penetration, I save with 4+. 3 wounds through. Reanimation protocol. This is a joke, isn't it?
Oh, that's nice! 3 not so Immortals down.
And the Immortals greet us.
The remaining bike makes 4 shots at 3+ on the warriors. 3 hit, same strength and toughness, so wounding with 4. Just 1.
5+ to save, just a 2. Reanimation protocol. Not even that.
I swear, I love these bikes! The ATV returns to the favor and fires 2 shots with the Multi-melta at 3+ on the Doomstalker. Oh yeah! Strength 8, toughness 6, wounding with 3. Both!
With the -5 penetration of the Doctrine, I make the 4+ invulnerability save. Use a command point to reroll, and I miss it again.
Each wound is d6 damage. Just 2 wounds.
10 wounds left.
With the twin autobolt rifle, I do 6 shots on the warriors at 3+. 5, nice! Strength 4, toughness 4, wounding with 4. 2 wounds.
0 penetration, so save with 4+. Boom! Both safe.
It's charge time! The Outriders are devastating when they charge, and I want to make sure they do as much damage as possible. Then, they charge both Overlord and Warriors.
I spend a command point to do Overwatch, and since my Warriors are 6 inches from the Doomstalker, I can Overwatch with him too.
Ouch! Honestly, I didn't expect it. That could be dangerous.
Let's start with the Warriors. 19 attacks at 6, divided into 2 groups. 1, 2, just to hit. Strength 5, Toughness 5, so wound with 4. 1 wound.
Saving at 6 for the -3 penetration. Nope. 1 wound. It's okay, they got 4 each.
Now the Doomstalker with the Twin Gauss Player. 4 shots at 6. 1 through. Strength 4, Toughness 5, wounding with 5. Nope, time for the real gun. D6 attacks. 5. Hitting at 6. 2 hit. With Strength 10, I wound with 2. Of course, just 1. D6 wounds. And 1 again! These dice are starting to make me nervous.
Yes! You were lucky, my friend. I need a 6 for the charge. Really? You got bikes, guys! Reroll with a command point. Yeah, that's better. I try to arrange them in order to make room for all the bikes and the possible charge of the intercessors. I need to maximize the damage. Bikes alone can't keep up with the Overlord and the Warriors together, so I need the intercessors to charge as well. They will suffer the Doomstalker Overwatch and it will be very, very risky, but in this case, go big or go home.
This time, we start with the D6 attacks. 4. Hitting at 6. Not even 1. Let's see if I had better luck with the Twin Gauss Player. 4 shots at 6. Nope, all miss.
Oh, that was scary. Come on, guys, hit that charge. I need a 9. Oh, come on! Guys, at this point I'm not so sure the bikes can survive the Overlord for 2 fights, so I have to try to do as much damage as possible this turn. Having charged, very special rules of the unit are activated, which together with the Astartes chainswords lead them to have 19 attacks, divided 12 on the Warriors and 7 on the Overlord. Warriors first, 12 attacks at 3+, 10 hits, same strength and toughness, so wound with 4. 5, not bad.
With -1 penetration, save at 5+. 3 deaths. Let's see if the reanimation protocol does anything. In 2 games, I still have never revived a single Necron. Crazy!
Don't worry, there will always be a first time. The remaining 7 attacks on the Overlord at 3+. 4 hit, strength 4, toughness 5, wounding with 5. Just 1.
With -1 penetration, I save with 4+. Good!
Not even 1. That's bad.
The Warriors respond with 6 attacks at 2+, thanks to the Overlord's ability. 5 hits, wounding with 5 for the higher toughness. 2 wounds.
Saving with 3+, 1 wound. But he's still alive!
And now the Overlord with its 5 attacks at 2+. Just 3. Wounding with 3, only 2 wounds.
With -3 penetration, I need 2 6s. Come on, you can do it! Yes, only 1 is dead! It went better than I hoped. The Outriders are the only ones to have to take the test, but with only 1 dead, they pass it automatically.
My Warriors, on the other hand, have lost half of the unit and therefore have to take the moral test. With leadership 10 and 6 dead, I have to do 4 or less to pass the test. Considering the dice roll I do, it shouldn't be difficult. Exactly. The Immortals should also take the test, but with only 3 deaths and 10 leadership, they pass it automatically. This turn couldn't have been worse. The ATV is still alive. My Doomstalker did absolutely nothing. Immortals and Warriors are halved, and the reanimation protocol is fake. To top it off, my Overlord doesn't know how to use his weapon. Let's hope the second round goes better.
Having at least 1 unit in 3 different quarters of the table and more than 6 inches from the center of the field, I earned my first 2 victory points thanks to engage on all fronts. At the moment, my situation is positive. I control 2 objectives unlike Andrea who controls 1, and somehow I managed to block him in combat before he could reach objective 4. I was hoping that the Assault Intercessors could charge along with the bikes, but apparently someone has short legs. Now it's Andrea's turn again, and everything is in the hands of the Outriders, no matter what happens to the rest of my army. The important thing is that the bikes managed to survive.
In the second round, the Protocol of the Eternal Guardian Directive 2 is activated. Each time an enemy unit declares a charge against my units, I can either hold steady and hit in Overwatch with 5+, or set to defend, gaining +1 to hit rolls. Then, thanks to the Living Metal skill, my Doomstalker gains a wound, and I get 5 victory points from Objective 2. I don't have much to do in this phase, so I just move the Immortals in the direction of the 6th Intercessor Squad to protect the Doomstalker. My Immortals fire on the 5th Intercessor Squad to thin them out a little. 4 hits at 3+. 3 hits. Strength 5 and Toughness 4 means wound with 3+. 2 wounds.
-3 penetration, so I need 6s. I guess not.
And that's a dead Marine. Now the Doomstalker shoots everything on the ATV, starting with the high-powered Doomsday Blaster.
I have to keep the ATV alive at all costs, therefore I use again the stratagem Transhuman Physiology, so it can only wound with 4+.
D6 attacks, 5, good. Hitting a 4, 1 hit, not good. I use again the stratagem Techno-Oracular Targeting and roll the D6 damage directly. 2, finally the ATV is destroyed.
Goodbye, my friend. With 6, it explodes. Not even a boom, just a pfft. In the fight, the opponent starts first, then it's up to my motorcycles to strike first. Unfortunately, they are no longer in charge, so they make 7 attacks. To do as much damage as possible, I focus them all towards the warriors. I hit a 3+. 3 hits, same strength and toughness, so wound with 4. That's bad news.
Now it's my turn. The warriors respond with 6 attacks on 3+. 5 through, wounding with 5, 3 wounds.
Saving with 3+. I can take that. You got 3 wounds left.
It's time for the Overlord. 5 attacks at 2+. Yet again, just 3 hit. 3 to wound, just 2. Not again!
Saving with 6. Yes! Another one saved!
I can't believe it. Did you rig the dice? The 3 wounds. 1 again.
Oh man, these bikes! My intercessors have to take the morale test, but having only 1 death, they pass it automatically.
At the end of the second round, I earned 2 victory points from the secondary objective Purge the Vermin, reaching 7 victory points.
In the second turn, the Tactical Doctrine is activated, which adds +1 to the penetration characteristic of each assault and rapid fire weapon. Thanks to the intercessors of the 5th squad, who control Objective 1, I earn 5 victory points, reaching 7. The 5th squad moves directly to the objective to enter firing range with the Immortals. The 6th squad instead moves towards the Doomstalker, trying to avoid the crater. Unfortunately, as the ATV exploded, I no longer control Objective 3. Rather than go back with some of my units, I prefer to take the fight to the Doomstalker, while Reginald approaches to help the bikes. Intercessor's 5th squad fires at the Immortals with the heavy bolt pistol. 4 shots at 3+. I need those Immortals to leave, so 6th squad fires on them too. Again, 4 shots at 3+. 3 hit, strength 4, toughness 5, wounding with 5. Oh boy, are you serious?
Welcome to my world.
The 2 bikes are armed with heavy bolt pistol, 2 shots at 3+ on the warriors. 1 hit, same strength and toughness, so wounding at 4. Wounded!
With -1 penetration, I save with 5. 1 died. Reanimation protocol at 5+. Wow! The first resurrection!
See, there's always a first time. It's time for the charge. The Assault Intercessors need an 8 to get in close combat without going through the crater. I hope you warmed up your legs, guys. 9! Okay, that's how you do it. With this charge, I block the Doomstalker in combat, preventing it from shooting on my other troops, not being able to use the main weapon as it is a blast weapon. Reginald needs a nice 4 to get into the fight with the warriors. Here we go! Time to start the slaughter. There are some Necrons to be scrapped. Space Marines begin the combat by piling in to carry out as many attacks as possible. Intercessors with the ability Angels of Death and Astartes Chainswords make a total of 17 attacks at 3+, split into 2 groups. 1. 2. That makes 12 hits. Strength 4, toughness 6, wounding with 5. 4 wounds to the tall guy.
With -1 penetration, I save with 4+. Or I don't.
Oh wow! Actually, I did not expect 4 wounds. Good job!
According to the rules, the unit that charged this turn attack first, the Lieutenant in this case. But for convenience, we finish this fight first. So, my Doomstalker makes 3 attacks at 4+ on the Intercessors. 1 hit, strength 6 and toughness 4 means wound with 3. 1, of course.
Reginald unleashes his master-crafted power sword and rages among the warriors with 5 attacks thanks to the Angels of Death ability, hitting on 2+. 4 hits, strength 5, toughness 4, wounding with 3. 3 wounds.
I can't save because of the -3 penetration, so I roll the reanimation protocol directly. One of them comes back alive, and that's 2 in one game.
You're improving.
Finally, it's my Overlord's turn. 5 attacks on the bikes at 2+. And once again, 3 hits. Wounding with 3. 3 wounds.
With -3 penetration, I need 6s. Nope. I think we say goodbye to the Outriders.
Hopefully, it's about time. D3 damage. The first, that's 1 damage. Second, 1 again.
Oh my god, they survived!
Let's see the third one. At least this, 3 damage.
He got 1 wound, but he's still here. It's time for the last bike to respond with 4 attacks on the warriors at 3+. 3 2s and a 1.
Now it's up to the warriors who split the attacks, 2 on the bike and 2 on the lieutenant. First the bike, 2 attacks at 4+, both miss. Now on the lieutenant, 2 attacks at 4+, both hit, wounding with 4, 1 wound.
0 penetration, so save with 2+ thanks to the relic. Okay, maybe I reload this with a command point. That's just barely okay. Both the warriors and the outrider have to take the morale test, but due to the high leadership and the few dead, they pass automatically.
This second round went slightly better than the first. The quad is destroyed and therefore Simone doesn't take any points from the objective too. My Overlord has confirmed once again that it cannot attack, and my Doomstalker is stuck in close combat. In any case, I'm at 7 victory points, 2 points below Simone. Nothing unrecoverable in the next turn.
Having a unit in at least 3/4 of the table, I gain another 2 victory points, reaching 9. Points that I would not have been able to get if the bike was dead. Luckily for me, both the intercessors and the lieutenant were able to charge, and now I can control the situation a little more. I don't think the bike will survive another round. Then it will be up to Reginald to face the Necron Lord. Third round.
At the start of the third round, I gain another 5 victory point going to 12. The Protocol of the Hungry Void Directive 1 activates, which allows me to increase the penetration characteristic of melee attacks by 1 with an unmodified wound roll of 6.
This turn I chose to activate the Assault Doctrine, which increases the penetration characteristic of each melee weapon and pistol by 1.
My Doomstalker gains a wound thanks to the Living Metal ability. The Immortals are once again the only ones who can move. The warriors are practically dead and I need the lieutenant to stay where he is, so I approach him waiting to charge him later in the turn. The Immortals fire on the 5th team of intercessors 4 shots at 3+. Obviously the 1 and 2 cannot miss. Strength 5, toughness 4, need 3 to wound. 2, how weird. Now the Doomstalker fires on the 6th squad with the Twin Gauss Player, 4 shots at 4+. 1 hit. I wound with 4, nothing to do. Let's hope for the charge. The Immortals try to charge the lieutenant. I need at least 7 to be able to cross the crater, as it is difficult ground terrain, and enter combat. 7! That's great. My Immortals have in charge attack first. 4 attacks at 3+ on the lieutenant. What was it I was saying about the 2s? 1 hit. Same strength and toughness, so wounding with 4. 6! -1 additional penetration.
-1 penetration, so saving at 3+. Perfect! It's time to attack with my favorite biker. 4 attacks at 3+ on the warriors. Ha! Better than before. Strength 4, toughness 4, wounding with 4+. Rerolling once to wound thanks to the Lieutenant Hora. 3 wounds to the warriors.
With -2 penetration, I save with 6. 1 saved. Reanimation protocol at 5+. Nothing. 2 warriors left.
Remember to recycle meta scraps.
My Doomstalker makes his 3 attacks on intercessors at 4+. It's a classic.
Eliminating the Immortals has priority over the warriors, so Reginald splits the attacks and makes 3 attacks on the Immortals with the white dice and 1 on the warriors with the black dice, all at 2+. All in! Wounding at 4 with white dice and 3 with the black dice. Wow! Reginald's on fire!
With -4 penetration, it denies me the armor. So the Immortals unit is destroyed and the warrior proceeds with the reanimation protocol. Nope. They just die.
This Reginald is a beast!
Finally, it's my Overlord's turn. 5 attacks on the back at 2+. Let's see if he can take it out. 3 hit. Wounding with 3. 2 wounds, and finally that bug greets us and I can consolidate on the Lieutenant.
You're my MVP, mate. My intercessors attack the Doomstalker with 13 attacks at 3+. 9 through, wounding with 5, just 1.
-2 penetration, then 4+ invulnerable roll. Saved! Finally, my warrior makes an attack on the Lieutenant at 3+. Hit! Strength 4, Toughness 4, wounding with 4. Never mind. My warrior is the only one to take the morale test, but having leadership 10 and with only 3 deaths, he passes automatically. At the end of my third round, I earned 2 points for the secondary objective Purge the Vermin, going to 14 victory points.
In this turn I have nothing to move cause I'm exactly where I want to be, so we skip to the shooting phase. 4 heavy bolt pistol shots on the Doomstalker at 3+. 3 hits, wounding at 5, and no wounds. Okay, my dear warrior, that's the fact. We are about to have a duel that could be epic, and you are ruining everything. So, go away! The lieutenant points the gun at the warrior's head and pulls the trigger. 1 shot on the 2+. So far so good. Wounding with 4? That's it!
-1 penetration, so save with 5+. Nope.
Exactly. Let the adults talk.
Fighting phase. Me first, starting with the Doomstalker making 3 attacks on the intercessors at 4+. 2 hits, wounding with 3, 1 wound.
Saving with 3. Yes! 13 attacks at 3+ on the Doomstalker. Wow, lots of 1s and 2s. 7 hit at 5+. 3 wounds.
Invulnerable save at 4+. 2 wounds through. It's up to my overlord. Let's see if at least this time he can hit more than 2 attacks.
Just to be sure, I use the stratagem Transhuman Physiology for 1 command point, so it can be wounded only at 4+.
5 hits at 2+ on the Lieutenant. 4 hit, wounding with 4. Just 1.
That stratagem was so worth. Saving at 5+? Ha! That's why Indomitus Armour is so good. Reginald has Warlord trait as Champion of Humanity, which grants him an additional attack and the ability to add +1 to hit and wound rolls against characters. So he makes 5 attacks at 2+ against the Overlord. All through,
Obviously.
Strength 5, Toughness 5, wounding with 3 thanks to the trait, 4 wounds.
Invulnerable on 4+. 2 wounds passes. 1 wound remaining to my Overlord.
He's not Claudio, baby.
And this turn was a little hilarious too. My Overlord, he just can't hit. He must have rusted during his long sleep. In any case, I still have a couple of tricks that I can use in the next round. Meanwhile, I finished the round with 14 victory points, not too far from Simone.
Bad news! I don't score any more points this round because Reginald is within 6 inches of the center of the table and therefore I don't have points from engaging on fronts. At the moment I am at 14 points just like Andrea, but I have to consider the points at the end of the game of my secondary objective Thin their ranks, which given the kills I have made, should be worth at least 15 points. So I have a good edge. Let's see how the next turn will go.
First turn. I gained another 5 victory points for controlling Objective 2. The Protocol of the Conquering Tyrant Directive 2 is activated. It allows me to fall back and shoot with my units with a -1 to hit.
The Assault Doctrine is also active this turn, which grants -1 penetration to melee weapons and pistols.
Then, Overlord and Doomstalker both gain a wound. I disengage with both the Doomstalker and the Overlord so that I can shoot the Lieutenant with the Doomsday Blaster.
No, stop! Where are you going? You coward!
My Doomstalker fires D6 shots at the Lieutenant. 3 attacks at 5+. 1 hit, strength 8, toughness 4, wounding with 2. Wounded!
I activate the RELICS force field which grants him an invulnerable save of 3+. That is totally useless.
Let's see the damage. 5! 1 wound left. Now the Twin Gauss player with 4 attacks at 5+. 1 hit! Same strength and toughness, so wounding with 4. Just right.
Saving with 3+. Oh, come on! That's unfair! Run away from that epic duel and kill him like this? The most infamous thing ever.
And with this, my turn ends. I gain 4 victory points for the 2 quarters of the field without enemy units thanks to the secondary objective Purge the Vermin, reaching 23 victory points.
Guys, I really didn't expect Reginald's death in that way, and moreover I'm starting to run out of victory points. At the start of this round I earned another 5 points for controlling Objective 1, reaching 19 victory points. If nothing else, I still have 2 active squads. The 5th squad moves into cover from the Doomstalker but remains in control of the objective, while the other intercessors come a little closer to the Overlord to give him a taste of his own medicine. 6th squad shoot the Overlord. The Sergeant throws a crack grenade, black dice, while the others use the pistol, white dice, all hit at 3+. 3 hit, wounding at 3 with the black dice and at 5 with the white dice. 2 wounds.
Invulnerable save at 4+. Just a pistol wound pass. This means that he's still alive.
The Intercessors charge the Overlord ready to take the Doomstalker's Overwatch, and just to be sure, I use once again the stratagem Transhuman Physiology.
In Overwatch, the Doomstalker always fires with the high power ray, so D6 attacks at 6. Just 1. Reroll with a common point. 2! At least hit 1. Nope, missed both. Twin Gauss player 4 attacks at 6. 1 hit. Wounding with 4. Wounded.
-2 penetration, so saving at 4+. Nope. Here, there's a gift for you. Rolling for the charge. Wow, they're angry. Oh, come here, my little friend. Let us hug you. Having charged, the Intercessors caress the Overlord 17 times, divided into 2 groups, hitting at 3+. 9 in this group, and 4 in this one, for a total of 13 hits. Wounding at 5, 3 wounds.
Invulnerable save at 4+. 2 wounds through. Goodbye, Overlord. Go back to sleep.
Intercessors consolidate on the Doomstalker.
Having entered combat with him, the Doomstalker can make his wonderful 3 attacks at 4+. 1 hit, wounding with 3. Wounded,
Saving at 3+. It's okay.
End of the 4th turn. I was able to take out the Lieutenant and thus complete my secondary objective, slay the Warlord. But I'm left alone with the Doomstalker who doesn't really excel in close combat. At this point, I hope to have taken more points than Simone.
My Space Marines have managed to avenge the death of Reginald, a meager consolation. In terms of victory points, we are extremely close, and this turn I do not take any other secondary objectives. I'll have to find a way to get more points than him in the next round, otherwise I'll be in trouble.
On the 5th turn, the Protocol of the Undying Legions, Directive 1, activates, which allows me to gain 1 more wound for the Living Metal skill. Then I get 5 victory points for controlling Objective 2.
Also, in this last turn, the Assault Doctrine is active. You know, -1 penetration to melee weapons and pistols.
The Doomstalker gains 2 wounds from the Living Metal ability. Twin Gauss player on Intercessor Squad, 4 attacks at 4+. Not even 1!
What? You got 3 ones! At the end of the game, this is the only fight left. Intercessors pile in to optimize attacks and prepare for the next turn's move. Since they didn't charge this turn, the Space Marines make 13 attacks at 3+. 7 hit, wounding with 5, 3 wounds.
Invulnerable save at 4+, 2 wounds, and he's still at 7 wounds. Now my Doomstalker's 3 awesome attacks at 4+. I would never have bet on it. By the end of this turn, I reach 32 victory points.
There is no chance that I can destroy the Doomstalker this turn, and even if I do, it won't bring me any additional victory points. So there is only one move left for me to do. In the match plays, whoever goes second in the last round has the possibility to redeem primary objective points at the end of the round instead of in the combat phase, and this is perfect for me. My Intercessors fall back from combat by moving towards the objective, and having the Space Marine troops the ability Objective Secured, they can control it even if the opponent has more models within 3 inches of the marker. This allows me to earn 15 victory points this round. And here, the game ends.
The Necrons finish at 38 victory points thanks to the 6 points for the secondary objective, slay the Warlord.
The primary objective points taken in the last round brings me to 34, and thanks to the 15 points of the secondary objective thin the ranks, I reach 49 victory points, winning the game.
There's not much to say except for the terrifying dice rolls. I was able to keep up with the Space Marines until the end, but a little bit of luck wouldn't have hurt me. My Overlord did a circus performance. The Doomstalker, who will be called Doomfailer from now on, was also quite hilarious. It will be for the next game.
Nah, I think you are too hard on your Necrons. If you think about it, they woke up just recently. In reality, it was a particularly close battle. This is the first time we have managed to reach the end of the 5th round with such close points. I'm quite satisfied with my Space Marines. The ATV that survived the first round was crucial for my victory, but the MVPs of this match are definitely the Outriders, best 150 points spent. And with this we conclude. Thanks for the support and the enthusiasm you are showing for the channel, it means a lot to us.
If you have any questions, advice or curiosities, write us in the comments and we will reply as soon as possible. There is nothing more beautiful than an active community. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel.
That's it guys!
See you next video!